Hi everyone, I'm Prayash Koirala. For our book reservation system project, I worked across three roles: product manager, scrum master, and DevOps engineer, which gave me a complete end to end perspective on taking a project from concept to deployment. As a product manager, my role was to ensure we were building the right product, something useful, user focused, and aligned with project goals. At the beginning, I created a product requirement document to clearly define features, scopes, and priorities. I also established the product vision, focusing on creating a system where students and librarians could easily browse, reserve, and manage books. I deployed a roadmap that broke the project into three key sprints: browsing book in sprint 1, admin features in sprint 2, and authentication in sprint 3. I managed the product backlogs in Jira, prioritizing tasks based on user values, dependencies, and capacity. Throughout development, I worked closely with the team, refining user stories, clarifying goals, and ensuring every task delivered value. I also participated in sprint planning and reviews to keep everything aligned with our product vision. In short, my job as a product manager was to translate the big picture into actionable priorities, making sure we stayed focused on building features that truly mattered. In addition to being the product manager, I also took the role of Scrum Master. My focus was to ensure the team stayed aligned, productive, and followed Scrum principles throughout the project. At the beginning of each sprint, I led sprint planning sessions in Jira, where we broke down stories, estimated story point, and aligned them with sprint goals based on our roadmap. We had daily stand ups on Microsoft Teams where we shared progress and blockers. This helped keep the front end, backend, and DevOps effort well coordinated. If any issues came up like merge conflicts or environment setup delays, I worked to get them resolved quickly. I maintained Scrum artifacts in Jira, including the sprint backlogs, velocity chart, and made sure tasks met our definition of ready before starting and definition of done before completion. At the end of each sprint, I facilitated sprint reviews and retrospectives. We showcased features like book listing or authentication module, then reflected on what worked and what could have been improved. Overall, I helped the team stay focused, adaptive, and continuously improve across all three sprints.
Hi, I'm Aashish Sunuwar and I worked as the backend developer for our team project. I'll walk you through our backend development process, especially how we used Agile practices and extreme programming techniques to develop our backend over three iterations. We built RESTful API using Node.js and Express along with MongoDB database, and we followed test-driven development using Jest and Supertest. For every iteration, I developed features based on user stories and acceptance criteria that were assigned to me on Jira by our Scrum Master. For every feature, I wrote test cases first to define their expected behavior before writing the actual logic. And after every implementation, I frequently refactored the code to improve error handling as well as the structure of our codebase. I also explored AI-assisted pair programming by using GitHub Copilot inside the VS Code to generate test cases as well as the repetitive functions faster. However, every generated code was carefully reviewed before committing. We use GitHub as version control, and we had one production branch, one development branch, and other branches according to the features. I worked with creating feature branches and created pull requests that were assigned to be merged by our Scrum Master. We also implemented CI/CD pipeline by using GitHub Actions, and my fellow team member will explain
About
about
it
it.
later.
Hello everyone, my name is Tsundue Gurung and I work as a front-end developer for our other group projects which is eLibrary. In our project, we follow the Scrum framework to manage our development process. It helps us to stay organized and collaborate effectively and deliver features in our short focus cycles. Every day we have the daily stand-up meeting using Microsoft Teams. And this quick session help us to share updates and talk about what we plan to work on and mention any like any blockers that we are facing, and this keeps the whole team in a sync. Our Scrum Master was responsible for assigning tasks and checking in regularly with each team members. If there was any questions or challenges, he was always there to guide us. We used Jira to manage our tasks. Everything was organized on a Scrum board with a clear columns like to do, in progress, and done. This made it easy to track what everyone was working on and see how the sprint was progressing. As a front-end developer, I work closely with our backend team and a Scrum Master to ensure smooth integration, especially during coding review and testing. And at the end of each sprint, we had a retrospective meetings. This was a chance to reflect on what went well, what we should keep doing, and what needed improvements. This meeting really helped us to grow and improve as a team in each sprint. Now that we have seen how we use Scrum for our projects, let me walk through the quick demo of eLibrary, the application we have been building. So let's start our product demo. So first, as a user, let's register a new user. So once we sign in as a user, we can see the list of books that are available, and we can also select a book based on the category. As we can see that we select an account category, and list of books that are available in a account category are displayed here. So let's reserve a book. So yeah, so let's select the date, and yeah, once we reserve the books, and the button will be shown as the book has been reserved. So this is from the user side. Now let's log in as admin. Admin dashboard had a function of CRUD operation, which is create, read, update, and delete. So we can see the list of users that are registered in this account, and the recent one is here, and the list of books that are available, and list of category. So let's check our CRUD operations. So once we create a new books, the new book will be shown in the shown in the book list. Now yeah, let's check for the update options, and yeah, we can see the details are already filled, yeah, of the previous book. So if we want to update in this one, then we can do that. And let's check for the delete options. This is the category sections. Let's delete this category. Yeah, and once we delete it, the category is removed from the list. So yeah, this is the short demo of our products, and thank you very much.
Now coming back to my role in this project, as a DevOps engineer, I was responsible for implementing a fully automated CI/CD pipeline to ensure efficient, reliable, and repeatable delivery throughout the project. We followed DevOps practices by integrating GitHub Actions for automation and Docker for environment consistency. The pipeline was triggered on every push or pull request to the production branch, initiating a sequence of actions aligned with continuous integration and continuous deployment principles. During the CI phase, GitHub Actions performed dependency installation, executed the project's test suite, and generated test coverage report. This step validated the integrity of codebase early in the lifecycle, significantly reducing the risk of regression and integration errors. Once all the tests passed, the workflow entered the CD phase, where we used Docker to containerize the application. The built image was then pushed to Docker Hub with two tags, latest for the most recent stable version and a SHA-based tag for traceable version specific deployments. This allowed us to maintain immutable infrastructure principles, ensuring consistent behavior across development, staging, and production environment. All sensitive configuration, including environment variables and credentials, were securely managed using GitHub secrets, aligning with best practices in infrastructure security. By adopting this CI/CD setup, we eliminated manual intervention, minimized deployment errors, and established a scalable release pipeline that supports continuous delivery across all the project lifecycle. Thank you.